Here is my dogfish, which is a kind of shark. We're looking at elasmobrachy and external features. So one of the first things I noticed when you pick up the shark, because they have to sort of pick him up to get him out of the container, is that sandpaper feeling on his skin. It's very distinctive, and that's from the placoid scales, which we'll talk about, and I might be able to put it under a microscope to show you guys later. He's been in a bag, so his or her tail, but you can see how the top is larger than the bottom, and the bone structure goes into the top part of that caudal fin. And there's a whole section of your lab manual that talks about sharks and how, depending on if they are swimming fast versus if they're going slow, whether they'll have that top part of their fin be larger or not. But you can see like the bone structure goes into that. That's different than the teleost fishes when we see them. We've also got a second hind caudal dorsal fin here, as well as the main dorsal fin, and on some, I think they've cut it off at this one. On some sharks there'll be a spine right here, but you can see that they've cut it. So I think there might have been a spine and they removed it. When we talk about catfish having barbs or spines that sting, this is where you'll find it. People think that it's going to be the whiskers, but on catfish the spine that hurts is there, at least in the North Bay catfish. I can't speak for all the species. You can see that there are eyes, rostrum is like that pointy nose. There's quite large spiracles, which allows water to go in and then out the external gills here while the mouth is closed, so they can still breathe while they're eating. We've got our pectoral fins, which are quite big for moving, as well as pelvic fins, and there's an anal fin back here as well. And then we'll flip this guy over, and he's or she's been pushed around a little bit. So I think it is a girl, because a boy would have claspers. So on this, at the vent here, we've got the two, I guess these, I was going to say there's pelvic fins and anal fins, but there's only the one here. I would want to call this like a pelvic fin, but maybe these are anal fins and this is a small shark and doesn't have pelvic fins. I don't actually know the answer to that. But at the vent here, the cloaca, the one opening, if it was a male, there's usually like these little mini fins that sort of stick out that are claspers for holding on to the female for mating. This guy doesn't have them, which means that she is probably a female, not a male. But when we cut her open, we'll be able to see for sure. There's already a cut here, which is, if I was going to make a cut, it wouldn't be up the middle. I would cut along the side so I can pull her open more easily. You can see the smiley mouth, and you can see the nostrils from this angle that you couldn't see. Like here on the top, you can see the spiracle that goes to the gills. Down here you can see nostrils. They actually have very complicated chemosensory deception abilities. So yeah, I find their smiles a little bit unnerving. Up until now, this is the first animal that we've dissected where it starts to look like an actual thing. And you can kind of see the lateral line on this gal. Sort of. You can see like this line that goes up the middle of her body. And you can definitely see the difference in color from the light to the dark. Right? A lot of water species have this, where if you're on the bottom looking up, you have light coloring that blends in with the light from the sky. if you're high in the water column looking down, you have this dark surface that will blend in better with the bottom of the water, bottom of the ocean floor. So, and you can see some dots here in coloring as well. So, I'm going to stop that and then I'm going to do some cutting of the inside.